In this video, we are going to cover some interview questions on Kafka Consumer Offset Commit. So let's get started. So our first question is, what is the role of Kafka Consumer Offset? Okay, the consumer offset in Kafka is the position of the consumer in the Kafka topic partition. It keeps track of which message the consumer has read so that in case of a failure, the consumer can resume reading from the last committed offset. Okay, so the best example of this is, suppose in a topic we are having 1000 messages. Okay, and our Kafka has read till 10, like our Kafka has read 10 messages. And after reading the 10th message, our consumer goes down. I mean, our Kafka consumer is reading message, right? It goes down. Then when it comes back, then how it will know, like from where it has to read the messages? Okay, so that thing offset keeps track of all those things. So after 10th message, it will keep an offset like, okay, till this point we have read the message, and when the consumer is back, it will say, it will check, okay, the offset is committed till 10 and I have to start from the 11th. Okay, so this is basically the use of Kafka consumer offset commit. Okay, so now the second question is, what is the difference between automatic and manual offset commit in Kafka? So there are basically two types of offset commit. One is manual and other is automatic. So first we will talk about the automatic commit. Okay, so automatic commit happens when Kafka automatically commits the consumer's offset after every message is fetched. This is controlled by enable.auto.commit, and this offset committing automatically will happen after certain amount of time. That will be controlled by auto.commit.interval.ms. Here ms is millisecond. We can define like after every 10 millisecond or 20 millisecond the offset commit should happen, and that will be happen automatically. I mean by the Kafka. The developer don't have to take care of that. Okay. Second thing is manual commit. Manual commit is when the consumer explicitly commits the offset by calling the commit sync or commit async method. The consumer is responsible for managing the offset. Okay, in this case the developer has to explicitly call the commit sync or commit async method. Like we while writing the while developing we have to, or while writing the code we have to call commit sync or commit async method to call the this commit should happen. Okay, but in case of automatic commit, like we have to just define automatic commit should be true, and after every interval like 10 millisecond or 20 millisecond it should commit by itself. We don't have to call the commit sync or commit async method. Okay, so now the question arises, what are the advantages of manual commit over automatic commit? Okay, control over committing timing. With the manual commit, you can control when the offset is committed, typically after processing a message successfully, which ensures that only successful processed messages are committed. Okay. Second is error handling. If an error occur after fetching the message but before processing, okay, manual commit allows you to reprocess those messages. Okay, so the best example to understand this error handling is, suppose we have a consumer and consumer is fetching some messages. Okay, it has fetched some message, and before processing those messages, in somewhere in between the consumer goes down or something breaks. In that case, if we are using the manual commit, so in the next try the messages which were failed before, after fetching and before processing, those will be reprocessed. So this is the benefit of using the manual commit over the automatic commit. Okay, so our next question is, what happens if you commit an offset too early or too late? Too early commit. If the offset is committed before processing the message successfully, you risk losing some messages in case of a failure. That is, consumer will not reread the messages or the unprocessed messages. Okay. Too late commit. If you commit the offset too late, it can lead to reprocessing the same message multiple times, which can be inefficient and impact performances. Okay. So now the next question is, what is the default setting for enable.auto.commit in Kafka Consumer? By default, enable.auto.commit is set to true, meaning Kafka will commit the offset automatically after certain amount of time or after each poll cycle. Okay. So our next question is, what is the difference between commit sync and commit async method in manual commit? Commit sync, it will commit the offset and waits for the acknowledgement from the Kafka broker. It blocks the thread and ensures that commit was successful. Commit async, it will commit the offset asynchronously. It does not block and returns immediately. While it is faster, it does not guarantee that the commit succeeded unless a callback is provided. Okay. So our next question is, how can you handle a situation where you have message processing failures and want to retry the same messages? If using manual commit, you can choose not to commit the offset until the messages have been processed successfully. In the case of failure, the message will be refetched in the next cycle poll and the retry logic can be handled accordingly. Okay. So our next question is, when should we use the manual commit or automatic commit? So first we will see when should we use the automatic commit. Automatic commit can be useful in a situation where message processing is idempotent. That is, processing the same message multiple times does not have an adverse effect. It is simple to use when you don't need to handle the complex error recovery or exactly one's semantics. Example, a consumer that reads messages performs lightweight processing and does not need to guarantee that the same message is processed only once. When to use manual commit? Manual commit is preferred when you need more control over when offsets are committed, such as after a message has been successfully processed. It is necessary for scenarios requiring exactly one's semantics, complex error handling, or when the consumer performs heavy processing. Example, a consumer that processes financial transactions where you need to ensure that each message is successfully processed before committing the offset to avoid losing messages or processing them multiple times. So these were all the questions which we can expect on the Kafka Consumer Offset Commit. So if you like the video, please do subscribe to the channel. Thank you.